Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two others now, Short Track Guys in the house. We've got them all together. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman here locally at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. And welcome back, Ted Baber of Ted Baber Video Productions, also locally here in Pensacola. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
The MIA is back in town. Thank you.
Yes, welcome back. Glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we've got a great show again tonight. We're going to talk about the sportsman race, the Night of Champions coming up because of a weather delay.
Oh, yeah.
Got $1,000 to win this Friday night. Now it's been moved up to a Friday after being delayed for a week for weather because, you know, Florida, 15 minutes, just wait, a little change. So, Jim, kind of gotten busy getting ready to get this over with.
Well, what sucks is it didn't even rain Saturday at the racetrack. I was around that area most of the evening, and there was no rain in sight. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Go figure.
Yeah, but it happens. Now, we're still kind of going over the car again and second guessing some things and not really making adjustments. Just, 100% make it solid where it'll make 25 laps and get us this championship. We had Brock Gent's car ready, but he can't race because he plays football, so he's out Friday night. And Ben Cranford, his car's been ready, but he's been a little under the weather. No COVID, just under the weather a little bit with some sinus troubles. And we're loading him up tomorrow night. He's going to be ready to go racing also. We're going to be ready to go. It's just going to be roll the dice now. It's qualify, race, and see what happens after 25 laps and leave it in the hands of the man upstairs. And hopefully by the time we leave the racetrack, we'll be able to come back on here next Wednesday night and tout a track championship.
Yeah. Oh, we look forward to that. And you guys know what's up with this? Any new updates on the Hoosier tire situation?
The only thing I've heard is, well, this is what I understand about all of this. The rubber is not readily available because it comes from China. Well, all the big tire companies that make street tires get the rubber first. So American Racer is owned by Cooper Tire, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I read that. And they get rubber for their street tires, so they've got rubber for their race tires. Goodyear, of course, they make a lot of street tires. They got plenty of rubber, so their race car tires aren't behind. But Hoosier is an independent racing contractor that makes nothing but racing tires. They're not highest up on the totem pole. Plus, like I said, you can't get people to work right now. Everybody's getting all that freebie money. They're going to sit on their butt and collect a check and not work. Not too long ago, they had a fair. They needed 60 people. They got 6. So I understand their situation. From what I'm getting, we should be able to buy 4 tires Friday night, and the pure stocks are going to get 2, but depending on the car count, we may end up getting 3.
Right.
But that's fine. It doesn't matter. Just give me right sides. Give me something to put on the car and let's get this race over with. I'm ready to go. My nerves can't take much more. Let's go. Come on.
That's what I hear from the management out there is that it depends on the car count. They will make a last-minute call as to who's going to get how or not. They're not going to choose who's going to get how many, but it will depend on how many cars are there. They'll divide out equally amongst the cars that are there.
Well, when you say choosing, does it mean like per person or the class?
Class.
Per class, right.
Now, we already know the pure stocks are getting 2. So that's a done deal. It's a question of how many cars show up, whether we get it. And I'm getting, looks that there's going to be a pretty decent car count. Like I said, my teammate can't be there, but Shanna Art is bringing out the old 29, and he's putting old Joe Richburg behind the wheel, which is cool to see them back. Shana has helped me out this year with a little bit of fuel money here and there, and I appreciate him and his family for what they do because his daughter's raced dirt in the bomber division, and both of them girls are coming up. I'd look forward in the next couple of years to have to race against them on asphalt.
Yeah, he's got 3 of them racing out there, right?
His wife. Yeah. His wife and his 2 daughters. Yeah. And, dude, man, one of them, I think it's Trinity. She's the one that's doing really, really well. And I'm not putting any of them down. They're all doing great. So that's pretty neat. That family races together, and that's pretty cool. Shana, of course, he had an injury on a motorcycle crash. And last year at Snowball Derby, he got T-boned by Chad Robinson. We'll just say it wasn't a very nice thing to do, and it hurt Shana's back a little bit, and he kind of realizes that he doesn't need to be in a race car. He may come back and run one more, maybe next year. He may run the Derby this year. I don't know, but kind of hoping he stays out of the car if he's going to get hurt, because I don't want to be the one if something happens and I hit him in the driver's door like what happened with Steve Buttrick. I don't want to be the one to do it. You know what I mean? It's bad enough. There's risk of getting injured, but if you're already hurt, there's no reason to get in a race car.
Right. At some point, you just got to put the helmet down and say, oh, "Okay, we're done." You don't need to take.
Well, I mean, but like I said, he's so man. You ought to see some of the videos of his daughters. They're good. Those girls, and I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't just the fact that Daddy works on a race car. Them girls get out there. One of them broke a rear end, hit the wall, and bent the rear end housing and everything. She the next night had the rear end housing out of the car, on the ground. I mean, these girls will work. Now that's saying something.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And they're a good family. They're good people. I think the world of Shanahard, his brother Chris Cotto, all of them, man. They've all been good to me over the years. And Shane and I have banged fenders and raced hard. And he's wrecked me once, but it's just racing.
Right. Yeah. Well, it being championship night, Ted, you were on a mission last week, and what have you gotten together and prepared for this championship night?
Well, I do have, I won't say a dedicated camera, but I got a second operator that's going to be keeping an eye out for any shenanigans that might take place. I've got to make sure that, at least cover that part of the ground anyway, because I would hate for things to come down to something foolish that happened and there's no evidence one way or the other that about what took place.
And you are covering the whole entire night with all the classes,
the
right?
entire night with some specific focus on one class and one individual car. Who shall go nameless, right?
Right. Yeah. But do you have in-car cameras in just Jim's car, or do you have them dispersed?
I will have one in Jim's car.
Maybe I can't think of the guy's name right now. There's somebody wanting to put one in the front and the rear for the race,
right?
And also remind me, I'm probably going to give you that GoPro that I've got because I don't need it. And I also want to tell you thank you for the tire for this next race, man. I do appreciate that a ton. And Emerald Coast Remodeling and Trim, my buddy Bart Bryan and his girlfriend are buying us a tire. And of course, can'tquitfishing.com. I got to get up with him tomorrow. And, we'll get it done one way or the other. Like I said, nerves is killing me. I'm just ready to get this over with.
I bet.
So let's go racing. And congratulations to all the other champions because the truck race is down to like 2 points. That's going to be between Gavin Graham and that other kid. That's going to be interesting to watch that one.
Yes.
I mean, the outlaw stock's pretty much over unless Finch crashes and gets double points. It could happen, but Jake Finch, as good as he's been getting lately, he's probably going to be the outlaw stock champion. And pure stock is going to be Latham.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Latham's got a big enough point lead that
he would take a major disaster, but he's had problems before, so you can't say it's completely over with. But
but the car count, like in our class, and the pure stocks hasn't been good enough to really worry about it. So, but let's just hope we have a good night of racing. I thank the Bryant family for keep getting Five Flags back up and running. I don't agree with all their calls, but I agree with the fact that they're owning the racetrack, and we need a place to race, and everybody support it. That's all I'm asking. Get out there and watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good luck. You're going to have a great night, and we'll see what happens next Wednesday night. We'll have a big bottle of champagne. We'll have the plastic wrapped everywhere in the studio.
That's right.
The trophy's going to be here, and everybody's going to have friends and family over, and we're just going to have a big time.
Well, we're going to have a barbecue where I'm living at the Gens house. They got a swimming pool and everything. Phil already said we're allowed to do it, so we're going to get some hamburgers and hot dogs one night and have all of y'all out, and we'll celebrate if this goes through Friday night. That's the game plan. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my buddy John Ruth, who's in Gulf Breeze Hospital right now. His blood sugar's messed up. John, we love you. You're one of the reasons why my car is so fast. Right. You've been helping Kevin Mitchell, and he's a bullet, and it's going to be fun racing him. And just get better, my brother, and we'll see you at the races Friday night.
That's the truth.
Oh, and also, while I'm thinking about Bill Melvin is out of the hospital, and he's back home as of today.
Good.
So his breathing's better. He's got some lung damage, but I don't think it was from COVID. He's on oxygen, but he is at his house now. So that's an awesome deal that our buddy Bill Melvin, modified racer, late model racer, is at home. And one other report, Boris Yurkovic is going to return to racing at 417 Speedway possibly this weekend from his injury.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We're glad to hear Boris back in a race car. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I message him every once in a while. A great guy. Would love to see him back behind the wheel, and hopefully he'll be at the Snowball Derby.
I hope he is. He's a good guy.
Yep. That's good news to hear.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is. It is. Great news.
Well, it's going to be Friday night.
Right.
champion night. Going to crown champions, and hopefully we have good news next episode Wednesday night, and we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But until then, we're going to roll into a heavy schedule. We've got a lot of things that have happened, things that are coming up, a lot of names we've thrown out, a lot of names we're going to be mentioning, some new names that we haven't mentioned but that we're learning about. We're going to go to Toledo in Ohio. It's a half-mile asphalt oval at Toledo Speedway, and it was the Glass City 200. And it was a ARCA CRA Super Series portion of that event. And we had some star-studded drivers in that field. And one of the guys that we haven't really mentioned and don't know much about until now, his name is Blake Rowe. And it came down to Carson Hocevar, which, the name goes out in the truck series.
Right.
Yep.
Blake Rowe took advantage of a late race restart and ended up coming home with his first ever ARCA CRA Super Series late model win.
Good deal. That's good to see these young guys get out there and get after it. He races modifieds. I think didn't he come out of quarter midgets right straight into modifieds?
Yeah, I believe at an early age he started in quarter midgets and then just started kind of rolling from there.
That's a little bit of a step.
Yeah, just a smidge. From a little bitty small motored thing to a big nasty modified with open wheels and a lot of horsepower.
Just barely keep it on the track.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I think he's either 20 or in his early 20s, and apparently he's got a lot of experience and track championships from different areas. He's in that Michigan area, and Kyle Crump. He and Blake Rowe are really, really good friends, and for Kyle to come up and congratulate him on his first win, winning like that, it was a pretty good deal. Carson Hocevar finished third. Jack Smith and Dalton Armstrong, which we know a lot about too, rounded out the top five.
And those modifieds, that takes some amazing finesse to get a restart. A restart on those is just brutally awful to handle because they have so much horsepower and tiny little tires.
And no front fenders, so you can't be banging on people. The late model, at least you got a little bit of something to hit with. You don't have much. But to beat Carson Hocevar, I'm not a big fan of his because I've seen him run people over for no reason, and he's made some enemies. But the kid drives for Nice Motorsports in the truck series and Craftsman Trucks and does very well. Or Camping World Truck, whatever they are now. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, but I just know he drives for them, and that's cool. And these young kids are coming up. They're all over the country, man, and there's a bunch of them that are we're going to hear from. Right. Like our Christian Rose that we met and talked to. That young man's got a future, and we just are excited to follow it. And guys like Minnie Terrell and these young guys that are just coming up, man, and you don't know their names, and then all of a sudden one day you'll know their names.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and another Cody Coughlin, was in that race too, and Cody Coughlin affiliated with
Jegs,
right?
Well, his dad's Jeg Coughlin, and the famous drag racer, Jegs, that has all that money and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brian Campbell's from that Michigan area. Has been, he spent quite a few years down here running the Snowball Derby. Experienced super late model driver. So, that's one of those events. There's so many that are going on across the country and just short track racing. And short track guys, that's what we're all about. And we try to, cover as much as we can. And that was just one of them on the slate tonight.
Well, those guys, they run tracks up there in Birmingham, like Berlin, Michigan. And even Gary Ballou said Berlin's one of the toughest racetracks in the country to get around. And a lot of these young kids run there. And Dick Trickle went there twice, and one time burned his car, slammed to the ground, knocked a motor out of it.
We met Cody at Mobile. It
was one of the ARCA races. Yeah, he was there. He was running an ARCA. Yeah, we did. I got a picture of his. Yeah, very nice young man.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and very strong competitor.
Yep. Well, it's nice to have money behind you. Not saying he's not good, because it takes a lot to turn a steering wheel. These people talk about these rich kids, and I do too, but let me tell you something. It takes a lot to get behind the wheel. They talk about Ty Gibbs, but that young man he's got the best equipment, but he has to be able to turn a steering wheel.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we talk about Blake Rowe and getting to know him through the quarter midgets, and then I think he did some other stuff before he really got into the full-size, modified open wheel modifieds and then to the late models. But the modified series we've talked about with the Smart Modified Tour. We mentioned Bobby Labonte, 2000 NASCAR Cup champion, winning at Dillon just 4 or 5 weeks ago. We mentioned him in a podcast, and they were at Dillon, and he just kind of came from behind. I think he started up front, but then, however they did it with roll of the dice, he started backing a little bit further, but worked his way back up and then got his first win in that Smart. Their sixth race, I think they had 6 different winners.
Yeah.
And then they just continued to do that, and they were at Dominion Raceway, which is a little 4/10 mile, kind of like Op in
Bullring.
Yeah, in South Alabama Speedway. And it was Woodford, Virginia, I think. Yeah, Woodford, Virginia. And old Matt Hirschman, open wheel modified driver, old Matt Hirschman takes the win over Burt Myers, Jason Myers, Tom Booz, and
second and third, though, ain't no slouch. If you ever watched the show Madhouse, you'll know what we're talking about. Yeah. Those Myers boys are nuts, and their daddy used to race and was killed in a NASCAR race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their dad was killed in a NASCAR stock car race. He sure was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but the Myers brothers have been racing that area for years. And to finish ahead of them, of course, Hirschman's he's not a slouch. He's a modified racer. That's what he does for a living. And the Hirschman family's tough. But, man, the Myers family, let me tell you something. You go watch that show, Madhouse. Man, there's some fist fighting and tearing stuff up. Anybody, you go on YouTube and look up Madhouse or Bowman Gray Stadium and watch it. That's another racetrack's on my bucket list to go to because I hear it's super cool to go to. And from what I've seen, yeah, I want to watch live.
Ted, have there been any opportunities for you to reach out to get some of these events and do some work?
Not yet. I have to address that a little bit more aggressively in order to get up there and get to this. Most of them already have in-house production outfits, especially the bigger tracks. That has become a lot more popular here over the last decade or so because everybody wants to be covered now, and it's just something you have to work on.
Well, everybody, it's Ted Baber Video Productions, Ted_Baber at yahoo.com. You get in touch with him. Dude does phenomenal work. Been doing it for, 22 plus years now?
22 years.
22 years. He knows what he's doing. He's got the equipment. He can handle your video needs, whether it's in-car, whether it's in the press box, on top of the box, in the parking lot.
Yeah, the in-car.
Ted can do it.
The in-car is pretty cool if my crew remembers to turn it on. or a couple times you hit somebody and it drops down and you're looking at the floorboard the rest of the race. That's no fun, but Ted does a great job. I enjoy his videos. I have a boatload of them, and every once in a while I get bored and pop them out and watch me win a race, and just smile. I remember that night and remember everything that happened. I don't need the videos to remember everything, but it's cool to watch, and listen to Robbie, our announcer at Five Flags, yell, "Can Pokrant do it? Can he do it?" So he's going to be loud and proud this week. Everybody says they understand why he likes me so much, just because I'm exciting. I make it exciting for him. Give him something to yell about,
Yep.
Yeah, and we have a finale this week. We've talked about the Dells Raceway Park up in the Midwest in the Wisconsin area. We've talked about John DeAngelis and Alex and Dennis Prunty and
Rich Bickle.
Bickle and all those guys up there that run the ARCA Midwest Tour. The Tundra Super Series finale, race number 6 is at the Dells this weekend. And, they got Dennis Prunty and Steve Apple, I'm sorry, going to cross paths with everybody else. Justin Mondyke and Casey Johnson, all those guys are going to running for the championship in that series, and I can't wait to see that result.
And Thompson's going to be in that race. That young man from Mobile, Alabama,
Grant Thompson.
Grant Thompson's going to be there. That's going to be hitting. I'm going to tell you something. He's up and coming. That's somebody to watch. Yeah. All these young people that we talk about. He's been doing really well in that series.
I mean, the points, Riley Stengham, which I think they had a Stengham memorial race not too long ago, but I'm pretty sure he's related to that. And Casey Johnson, Jordan Thiel, Brock Heinrich, and Justin Mondyke are all in the top. But I think there's only Riley Stengham and Casey Johnson within 4 points for the championship. But those other two, Steve Apple and the Prunties getting together because they're going to cross paths. They've raced together probably for, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting because you've got a little mix of things going on at the Dells. And, the Dells, we covered that race just a couple of episodes ago, and it's a small little bull ring. It's a 3/8 mile. And it's it's just a little super mini speedway.
Get after it in a hurry there.
Yeah. They put on a battle in those tracks. Wisconsin, man, I'm going to tell you something. You talk about a place for short track racing. some of the tracks they've got up there. That's
great.
and I've heard their fans are phenomenal. When the Cup Series ran up there on the road course, they said that was some of the well, not the Roval. This is up in Wisconsin.
No.
They said it was the one they ran on the 4th of July weekend. They said those fans were some of the best fans they'd ever been around. They said those people partied and had a great time. And I'm like, I think that would be cool for a road trip. Go up there, go to that Cup race. If they have it again there in the Xfinity race, and then go to some of the short tracks around there while you're up there. That would be a cool trip.
Yeah.
I think. So we'll have some fun with that one time. I'm going to start doing that. That's one of the reasons why I'm semi-retiring after next year, because I want to do a little running around the country and seeing things and going to short tracks. And I'd come back and tell you all about some of the places I get to go to, or hell, we'll all load up and go.
Yeah, push you around in a wheelchair too, probably.
Shoot, you let me win that dadgum lottery. I'll buy us a damn bus and we'll just travel.
Yeah.
We'll do the podcast from the bus.
Right. Do it live and on scene wherever we're at.
That's right.
Well, this is our Wednesday episode 18, and we've got to get this out because we had a special guest 2 episodes ago. It's from Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Right.
Christian Rose Racing with Bruce Cook Technology, Cook Racing Technologies, and was a very interesting and very helpful interview with him. Where he's come from and what he's done in just a short period of time.
Yeah.
He is making his ARCA Menards West Tour Series debut tomorrow night at the Bull Ring in Las Vegas, driving the number 42 West Virginia Tourism Toyota Camry in the Star Nursery 150. And we wish him all the luck in the world and look forward to getting back with him after the results, and hopefully he can take it to victory lane. And one day we get that short track guy's decal on the side of his car.
Yeah, that would be super cool. And he's trying to work a deal. Last time we talked to him about coming down and running the Snowflake at the Derby, which would be really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tourism, that's cool that they stepped up and helped this young kid out. And I understand also in that ARCA race, there's going to be 5 female drivers in that race. It's going to be the most ever to start one ARCA race. And I know one of the girls is JoJo Wilkerson from Birmingham, Alabama area.
Hueytown.
That's right. She is from Hueytown.
Hueytown, Alabama.
Well, Birmingham's all the same area, but anyway.
Well, the gang didn't come from
Yeah, I know.
Birmingham.
They call them Hueytown. But she's going to be there racing. So, we got to, she's run locally here. She got injured at Five Flags a few years ago.
Yeah.
Got busted in the driver's door and broke her leg.
Yep.
I was sitting in the stands that night. That was scary.
Oh, I heard that. I mean, we just barely missed that one. Unfortunately, we got it kind of on the edge of one of the cameras, but you could hear it all over the track. That was the most awful sound. It just boom inside that car.
Well, the kid that hit her, from what I understand, he was battling the guy behind him, and he finally passed him. And his spotter was trying to tell him there's a spin on the front stretch, and he hadn't let go of the push to talk. He talked for 2 laps.
Oh.
And the spotter couldn't get in there to tell him there's a wreck. And when he got there was smoke. JoJo should have just spun and stopped, but she tried to gas it up and bring it around. She wound up broadside of the racetrack and got hit right in the driver's door.
It was awful.
Yeah. That was nasty. That was as bad as, the Hueytown boys just don't have no luck. Justin Bonnet with that fire he had and stuff, man, it's nuts.
Yeah, I was about to mention Justin Bonnet too, and that snowflake wreck. That it took him, I don't know, 8 months or 10 months to get over that with surgeries and some burns that he had, and he got back in the car. The racers they just brush it off, just it's tidbit of scratch, and get back in the car.
What was scary about that wreck is he knocked the fuel cell out of the car, and it knocked a hole in his windshield, and he had fuel running down on top of him.
Yeah. Yep.
He said he thought he was dead. He said, literally, when that thing lit up, I thought I wasn't going to make it. And old Russell Brooks, who's related to Ricky Brooks's brother, actually dove in the car and unbuckled him and pulled him out with his broke leg. So kudos to old Russell for doing that one, because that was pretty scary. We were down there nearby.
Yeah, I was turned backwards to it and didn't see it, but I saw the flash in my viewfinder.
And then felt the heat.
Right.
Immediately felt the heat.
Whipped around and like, oh, Lord.
And people are running over, and I'm trying to keep some people back. Like, y'all let the safety crew do their job. Don't go get over and that thing, because the fuel was running down the racetrack.
They'd get it out, and more would come down.
That was crazy. But I'm just thankful he didn't get hurt any worse than he did, and he's back in a race car and doing pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we got the Snowball Derby and the Snowflake and all these big events coming up, but everybody knows the Snowball Derby weekend or the Snowball Derby week is really the finale for everything because all the big stuff is over. And one of the things I really want to get out now is because the Miss Snowball Derby pageant is coming up. And I know it's a local thing, but it's really not a local thing. If you're interested, it's Friday, November the 19th at Seville Quarter in downtown Pensacola. You can contact the director, Taylor Griffin, and her number is 850-341-5604, or you can email msdpageant@gmail.com to get involved. And I just want to throw that out because we are coming down to, I mean, every year that Snowball Derby, the week comes and hits you in the face. It's like a holiday.
Yeah.
You're not ready for Thanksgiving, and all of a sudden, you're just taking off your sweaty clothes from the summer, and all of a sudden they're serving turkey. And then you're opening presents for Christmas, and all of a sudden it's springtime again, and you got guys coming and girls coming from colleges going to the beach. It happens so fast, and that's the Snowball Derby. It's like a holiday for us down here in the Panhandle in Pensacola. It happens so fast.
I always take the week off just for that.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I used to take Wednesday through the following Monday off. That way I got time to recover because it's fun. I mean, I missed my golf cart because I used to love to just, after the race, get out and ride out there. And I usually walk out and hang out with Ron Schneider and Sarah Doherty and Hunter Lambert's dad and all them. Tommy Lambert, they usually have a big party. They'll go out there and pass around the moonshine and just sit there and tell lies around a campfire for a while until it gets late and then everybody goes home. But, the Snowball Derby is a big party. It's a lot of fun, lots of racers. I mean, you got people coming. I heard today on Door Bumper Clear, Freddie Kraft, who spots for Darrell Wallace, he always comes down and spots for Derek Krause. And he'll be here this year for Derek Krause again. He said he always comes to the Derby. Interested in meeting him. I listen to their podcast, which is pretty cool. And just love the Snowball Derby. It's my mini vacation too.
It is. The place becomes its own city.
Yeah, it does.
Huge.
Oh yeah, it brings a lot of money, through the economy through this area, and it's just another one of those outsider kind of bucket lists. Yeah. We've been there. We know what it's like, and somebody that comes in for the first time, I hear comments. I've read reviews from, different websites about the Snowball Derby, and people that come in for their first time and they've spent the week here, it's a memory that will last a lifetime, and they'll always come back if they can.
Well, I've got a brother coming who's never been here before. I can't wait to see his jaw just hit the deck when he see what that place looks like.
Yeah. And you know what? It's the only thing that aggravates me about that is it's the biggest sporting event in Northwest Florida. It's bigger than FSU games. Okay, it's the only thing bigger than that. You have to go down towards South Florida,
right?
Towards football and stuff. Big, like maybe the Buccaneers. Even them, they don't bring as many people to the Snowball Derby. And yet we can't get our county commissioners or anybody to really back the racetrack or help out or do anything. But yet we bring millions of dollars to the economy in this area, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And yet we turn around and they don't want to help us. I don't understand that. You think that people would know. I've met people who live in Pensacola, have been here over 10 years, and couldn't tell you that there's a racetrack here.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, we want to help promote short track. We want to help because we're local guys. We're Five Flags guys. Mm-hmm. We want to see the place grow and get better. Right. But you have to help it. And nothing against Tim Bryant, but every time I see he doesn't advertise much.
No.
He does not put it out there. It used to be you couldn't turn on the TV. Channel 3 News, Five Flags Speedway, Friday night, the action. And you couldn't go anywhere in town without seeing a billboard of Junior Niedecken or Freddie Fryer or guys like Jerry Lolly, local guys that race Jerry Lolly and Junior Niedecken up on the billboards and get people excited. Go to businesses. I've asked for free tickets for sponsors and can't get them. Give me some tickets. Give me some chance to get some people at this racetrack.
All right.
I just think there's some things that can be done differently. My opinion, once again. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one that stinks.
Yeah, well, but and again, we'll just go back to the Miss Snowball Derby pageant.
Oh yeah,
Get in touch with Taylor Griffin, or MSD pageant,
and go to it. It's fun.
Yeah, and get involved and they also visit historic downtown Pensacola and Seville Quarter and get your dress and have a great time and best of luck to everybody and represent the Snowball Derby throughout the next year.
And usually at Beef O'Brady's on 9 Mile Road, which is owned by Tracy Goodson, who's a former champion at our track, he has a big snowball derby party, which Speed 51 hosts, and we go out there, and it's a lot of fun. But, once again, they don't talk to local drivers. They talk to all the late model guys. But it's fun to go sit, because last year I got to sit at a table next to Gary Ballou and got to talk to him. How cool is that? That one of your heroes is sitting right there and telling stories, and you get to listen to what he's saying. It's like, this is super awesome.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the Snowball Derby is one big event. It starts 2 weeks early and then works its way to the Snowball Derby, and it's a blast. Come see it. Go to your local short track and let's have some fun.
You always go away with a racer's hangover after it's all over with.
Oh, man.
The adrenaline rush. You've just been pumped up for 4 days, and then when it's over, you're like,
yeah. That's why I take Monday off, so I can just sleep it off. It's like, like I said, it's like you're hungover when you get up and Monday morning, you're like, is it really over?
Well, gentlemen, that is a wrap for the itinerary on this Wednesday. And Jim, good luck and get some rest and relax. You know it's going to happen. Don't let the nerves bottle you up. And we'll get back Wednesday night and see
we'll
what's
celebrate
in store.
A championship. I'm going to say it's going to happen. We're going to celebrate a championship this year. We deserve it. My team deserves it. Ted deserves it. You deserve it. We all deserve it. I've been doing this for 27 years. It's my turn to win a championship.
That's right.
It's my turn to be track champion, and we're going to try to win the Snowball Derby this year. And if we can do that, then we'll even have more fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, boy.
Get us a bottle of Crown and have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ted's glad to see you back, and we missed you last week. And Jim, it's always a pleasure to learn a lot more about racing from you. And we look forward to getting together next Wednesday night and having a big time.
Just
that's
a plethora
right.
of information.
yeah, Mr. Information. That's what you can call me. Mr. Racing Information.
Yep, and Short Track Guys product is coming soon.
That's right.
Just be patient. We'll have it out. We're working on some things, and it's going to be big. And we're Facebook, our page, Short Track Guys Podcast on Facebook. Look us up. Leave a review. Leave a comment, good or bad. We want to hear from you. Listen as much as you can. JBP07 at hotmail.com.
That's me.
Yep. And Ted_Baber at yahoo.com. If you've got video intentions, this is the man. So, Short Track Guys is your source for short track racing. And we appreciate you listening. And guys, love you. And we'll see you guys Wednesday night.
Have a great night. Thank you for listening.